The major cruise lines announced new cancellations. Here's what you need to know about November, December, and going forward into 2021. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the news we didn't even want to talk about, and that is cancellations of cruises into November 2020, and in some cases beyond that. So we're going to be looking at those cancellations as well as what the compensation options are. And some of those have changed. So even if your cruises are not affected, it is good to know moving forward what these might be. And finally, we're going to look into December and even into early 2021 to see what is on the horizon for cruising. Now, if you do like this video, if you find it helpful or informative in any way, please do give the video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, please consider subscribing to the channel with your notifications on so you do not miss another video. Now let's get started. So as you probably know, the CDC no-sell order was extended until the end of October 2020. And even though the cruise line associations have had a voluntary pause until the end of October, it does seem unlikely that any cruises would really be able to start sailing with certainty at the beginning of November. So cancellations in November are really not a surprise. At least now we do know, but there are some different options. So let's get started firstly with Norwegian Cruise Line. So Norwegian Cruise Line has canceled all cruises through November 2020, but they have gone beyond that, and they've canceled a few cruises on some specific ships into early 2021, all the way through April. So the Star, the Spirit, and the Norwegian Dawn have all had their cruises canceled for early 2021. And while this seems really like very negative news, something to keep in mind is that cruise lines have said that they are going to start off sailing with short itineraries. They're going to be sailing likely those larger cruise ships, and they're not going to be sailing with every cruise ship. So something that we've noticed throughout all these cancellations is a lot of the cancellations have to do with cruises that are perhaps in South America, in Africa, in Australia and New Zealand, places where there are a lot of restrictions, or it would be difficult in terms of travel restrictions for people to get to. So what happens if your cruise has been affected? Well, you'll be receiving a refund. So there is no longer the option of a refund or a future cruise credit of a larger amount if you keep the money with them. They'll be refunding you. And what you will be receiving is a 10% off coupon for a future cruise. You have 1 year from the time that you have that coupon issued to book your cruise. And then after that, you can book a cruise through 2022. Do check with your travel agent or with Norwegian Cruise Line directly if you booked with them for exactly what will happen with your specific cruise. So I'm going to be honest here. When I heard the news that Norwegian had canceled their cruises for November, I held off on making this video until I heard from Royal Caribbean and Celebrity. So we now have heard from them. Not a surprise. They've also canceled their cruises in November 2020. They have sadly also canceled their winter sailings in South America, in Australia and New Zealand, and in Asia. Now, if you do have one of the affected sailings, you have some really interesting options. You can either take a refund, of course, or you can also take 125% credit as a future cruise credit minus the taxes, just like you were able to do before. And they have as well the lift and shift. This is the very interesting part. Basically, the way that works is if you got an amazing deal, maybe you have some great perks, especially with Celebrity, that happens a lot. You have a really, really good promotion. You can actually move that cruise over from this year all the way till next year, and you just have to have it within an 8-week window. So 4 weeks before or 4 weeks after that cruise date, and you can keep that price, you can keep those promotions, those perks, and just move that over. The only thing is you do have certain things you have to stay with basically the same itinerary and basically the same length of cruise and the same stateroom category. So it's definitely something worth looking into, especially because we are seeing that 2021 cruise pricing is higher, at least right now. Now, even though we are talking about cancellations right now, I know you're probably wondering what's going to happen for December or even January. So we are going to talk about that just after we finish going through Carnival. Now, Carnival's cancellations so far are a little bit different. They have decided to cancel for now all cruises in November and December 2020, except for 6 cruise ships that are leaving from either Port Canaveral, which is near Orlando, or Miami, Florida. So they still have that intention of hopefully sailing those cruise ships. And that's as of filming this video, of course. If it has changed, do look in the description because I will definitely update that. Now, if your cruise was canceled with Carnival, then they have a pretty easy compensation package. You can either receive a refund, of course, or you can receive, if you had a cruise that was 5 days or less, you'll receive $300 US onboard credit per cabin. Or if you have a cruise that was 6 days or more, then you will receive a $600 onboard credit. Now, if you are on one of those cruises that is supposed to sail in November or December, and for some reason you don't want to sail and you want to cancel that, there is a form right on their website. I will leave it in the description below. You can actually cancel it and you can still get those advantages. They will give you that same offer, which I think is really something quite nice. Now, something to remember as well with these refunds is it does take some time for the cruise lines. They're really trying to get this done quicker. Royal Caribbean says 45 days or less. Norwegian is now saying they're trying to get it done, if I'm not mistaken, under 27 days. But it is going a little bit quicker than before. But I do want to say that I think that the cruise lines giving this compensation, the option even of a refund, is something pretty good, because I know in a lot of cases with air and even resorts that in many cases there is no refund and there are credits instead, and it's really been difficult. So despite all that's been going on with the cruise lines, I think that overall they've been doing a good job under the circumstances. Let me know what you think. I know if you're waiting for a refund, you may not feel that way right now, but let me know what you think, please. So if you are like me, you are wondering what is going to be happening for December. Will cruises actually restart at that point? Well, cruise line executives have said that they are quite hopeful that that will be happening. Now, of course, we have to wait to hear more. We do need to know if the CDC does intend to lift the no-sail order. We haven't heard yet from the White House task force that was supposed to meet with the cruise line executives on a restart to cruising, a plan to get that back. But we do expect to hear a little bit more soon. Now, if you are booked in December, some things to expect and some things to think about just in case you do want to reschedule your cruise. Of course, you have that Cruise with Confidence program from all of the cruise lines, so you can still do that. But some things to think about is there are likely going to be some cancellations, because we know not every cruise will sail, even if they do start sailing at some point in December, or in the case of Carnival in November. As well, we expect there will be some deployment changes. Cruise lines have said they will start off with a few trial runs, and then they will also do some cruises to some private islands and some shorter cruises. So we do expect some itinerary changes as well. Now, something to remember is that when cruises do restart from the United States, they're going to have the strictest of protocols in place. And if you are wondering about that and what it will really look like, the good, the bad, really the real, I go through that in another video. So I will leave that at the end of this video. And keep in mind that cruises have been sailing in Europe and have really overall had a high satisfaction rating. Now, please let me know what you think. What are your predictions for December or even January? Let me know, please, in the comments below. Now, if you did like this video, then please do give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching and happy future cruising.